All right, we are live. This is, I love this part because we see like participants rolling over like super quick and I can't keep up with all of the names that come in. It's so great because these are names. We've been doing these webinars since March 26th. So everybody can count the number of weeks we've been doing them, but it is amazing to see the same people on time and time again. Casey from Minneapolis, always on our calls. Good to see you. I was just telling Karin and Scene as well that that this is also a group that, I mean, we work in travel, we work in sales, right? We're very communicative and we talk all the time. What's great about these webinars is that it's very conversational. Floyd.
Hi, Floyd.
Right? Floyd from Colorado Springs, been on all of them.
I miss you.
So it feels like old home week every time we do one of these webinars because we see all of the names, Amy from Drury, all of the names that we know and recognize and would have seen at shows at least like 1,000,000 times by now. I can't believe it's October 15th. Does anybody know how that happened?
No.
So we're going to wait just a couple of minutes to give people time to log on before we start. But I know, you know, as everyone is logging in, if we've heard it once, we've heard it 1,000,000 times, even pre-pandemic. Well, you know, I'm going to put an itinerary together, but I need something really unique. And I need something that's living like a local or where a local goes that nobody else knows about. And I think no matter if you're an attraction, a hotel, a DMO, you kind of struggle to find what that right product is. How do you put together the perfect itinerary? So that's really where this webinar came from, is to let's unpack it a little bit. Let's talk about the different parts of putting an itinerary together, not only pre-pandemic, but now the rules are kind of different. We're all starting from the beginning again. So we reached out to some really good friends to kind of chime in and give us an idea of what the perfect itinerary looks like and what they're putting together right now to get in the hands of everyone when travel starts again. And we know that some of it's happening now on the domestic front. And international, we're all hoping will be, you know, second quarter and into summer and the rest of next year. So without further ado, we're going to get going. And ladies first, sorry, Scene. We're going to let Karin introduce herself, talk a little bit about what ATI is doing. And what I love is not only the international side of what you're doing, Karin, but also your drive program. That is timely, and even though you've had it for a while, it's super timely right now, and maybe some of the tweaks that you've made to it we'll hear about in a little bit. But Karin, tell us a little bit about ATI and what you're doing.
Hi, I'm very excited to be part of this webinar today with Scene and Shari. I really appreciate that. Just a quick overview of ATI. I mean, most of you guys know about ATI, but I just wanted to make sure that the people who don't, you know, that I'm doing a quick overview. We were founded in 1977, and we are North America's leading travel service provider. ATI is a family-owned company, and our CEO, Noel Henschel, and our COO, Nick Henschel, are very intimately involved in the day-to-day operations. And they have great passion and vision for this industry. And really, everybody at ATI, they're all about selling great, unique products at excellent prices, of course, and we are very customer service oriented. And I just want to point out that we do focus on both international and domestic markets. We just launched our new Enhanced Drive America B2B platform, and I'll be happy to tell you a little bit more about it in my presentation.
Perfect.
Over to you, Scene.
Thank you so much for being here, Karin. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Scene Bayliss, I feel like I should have seen you about 4 times in person by now.
Exactly. So, let me just share my screen.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit, you know, not only about ITRG, which is your company, but also some of the consulting that you're doing as well, which makes you an excellent resource for itinerary development.
Yeah, let me just share my screen with everyone. Can everyone see my screen up? Perfect. Okay, so My name's Bayliss. I think I know most of the people that I've seen names on this call. My company is ITRG Marketing, and basically what we do, we offer consultancy services in all aspects of the inbound travel industry, from sales and marketing, education, product development, and itinerary planning. I'm sure Shari's going to share this slide afterwards, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on what I do, because I know today's focus is on itinerary development. So I wanted to take a few minutes and just go through some best practices, key guidelines when you're looking at developing your itineraries. So, you know, feel free to take a look at my website. If I can support you in any way, reach out to me. But now I'm going to just go into, as I said, an overview of developing an itinerary. So we're going to split it into 5 sections. Know your target market, create partnerships, know your strengths and develop around them. Trends post-COVID, which I think is that's the big question that everybody's asking now. How are we coming back? What are we coming back as? And ensuring bookability of the itineraries. You can design the most beautiful itinerary in the world. If it's not bookable out there, it's unsuccessful. So know your target market. And I'm really going to go through this quickly because we want to open up with a lot of time for questions. So everyone will have a chance to ask questions either during or afterwards. So when you're looking at designing your itineraries, do not attempt to be everything to everyone. Clearly define your target markets based upon your access to international gateways. If people can't get to you, you're not going to sell your product. So partner with a gateway if you don't have one. Know where your passengers are coming from. Focus on your core strengths. What is your region known for? Focus on your current markets. Where are you strong now? What new markets do you feel you're ready to get into? Again, be selective. Don't do everything at once. If you're looking at new markets, do it slowly. You know, get to be established in that market before moving to another. And budgets, which I think, you know, everyone appreciates at this time. You know, budgets are going to be tight for the foreseeable future. So, you know, look at what you've got to spend. Look at how you market this. Look at partnerships. Leading straight in to create partnerships. International visitors want to explore. You know, don't attempt to contain them in your state or region. They're coming for an average of 12 to 14 days, some markets up to 21 days. This is a long journey for them. It's normally a bucket list item. They want to see as much as possible. So partner with destinations surrounding you. Use all of your strengths. You know, it increases the variety of the product offered. It increases the international gateways where people can come in. So that increases the markets you can operate in. It also, again, back to that budget, it increases your budget. Your budget will go further at the moment if you pool it with other partners. And it also gives you additional product exposure. You may not all be going to the same trade shows. You may not all be working with the same operators. So it gives you that expanded exposure. And just remember, you know, a percentage of something is better than all of nothing. And what I mean by that is if you develop an itinerary which stays within your state or region, which is limited with what it includes, people aren't going to buy it. You get nothing. But if you partner with 4 other destinations and you have 3 nights out of the 12, 3 nights is better than nothing. So trends post-COVID. Self-drive, you know, when you're looking to develop your itineraries, again, the average duration is still going to be around 12 to 14 nights. Travel will be focused on beyond the gateways. You know, people, I still think for the short term, will feel uncomfortable in built-up areas. Also, there's not so much open in those areas. You know, there's no major shows, concerts. So initially, they will look to go beyond the gateways. Outdoor-centric, allows social distancing. You know, America is known for its wide open spaces. We're the perfect destination for a COVID rebound. We offer the perfect product. One of the key things we're seeing, and I'm hearing from operators overseas, RVs and motorhomes. I don't think you can rent one at this point for the whole of next year. I mean, you know, people are looking at, even pre-COVID, people were starting to travel in small groups, you know, 3 couples, 2 couples as friends, 2 families because the kids are friends. That trend is growing. And although I say self-drive beyond the gateways and outdoor, people will still want to do city strays. I mean, it's not that people aren't going to stay in cities. They are. Again, the average duration is 4 to 5 days. Home rentals will start to become popular where people can self-contain in their own group. Again, if they're traveling with friends, if it's 2 families traveling together. Outdoor activities will become a key focus, and not just because people are looking to stay outdoors, but a lot of indoor places are still not open or they've got limited numbers. So if you expect someone to stay 4 to 5 nights, you've got to create enough interest of things for them to do. So, you know, if you've got a lot of your indoor venues closed, then start to focus on more smaller ones that are open or outdoor destinations that are open. And I think the cities, and again, this was something starting before COVID, but I think will grow exponentially because of COVID, is what we've always called the hub and spoke mentality, where people will be staying in the city, but they're staying 4 to 5 nights. They don't want to do every day there. They will go out on certain days. And I think we call it probably like a 3-hour radius that they will drive to. And I think, you know, probably one of the perfect examples I can look at is Las Vegas. People will stay in Las Vegas for 4, 5, 6 nights, the international market, but they'll take a day trip to Death Valley, which is an hour and a half, 2 hours drive. They'll take a day trip to Zion, 2 to 2.5 hours drive. And then every other day they can still lie by the pool. The plus is they're not having to pack and unpack. They're not going to different locations, different hotels. They're able to settle down in one place where they feel comfortable. Know your strengths and develop around them. You know, the international traveler is seeking an experience. It's not one experience or another. They're seeking an experience. Highlight your strengths and goals. You know, what are the known sites and attractions in your region? Focus on those as the bait to the enticement to the itinerary. They're the focal points that attract people to your itinerary. But what are the new sites and attractions you want to profile? Pre-COVID, post-COVID, it doesn't matter. The US is a return destination. A lot of people are coming back for a second time. They want to see new things. It's also a distant destination. They're looking for things new, even if they're coming for the first time. They will do a lot of investigation. And you may not think they know about your secondary or tertiary sites. Believe me, they do. The internet has made the world a much smaller place. Brand your itinerary to define who you are. Again, it's not just about the itinerary. It's about branding your region. What are you known for? What are your strengths? Is it food and wine? Is it national parks? Is it music? You know, play on your strengths, develop around your strengths, but then go into detail because that's what creates the experience. You're creating a theme to the itinerary. Run that theme through the entire itinerary. That's what people are looking for. An example of this, one of the organizations I work closely with is Brand USA. I do a lot of product development, and I have a consultancy agreement with them to do product development to promote the USA to, through, and beyond the gateways. I've put the website on here. Take a look at the itineraries and how we have worked upon different regions' strengths to create different themes. And those themes are everything, I said, from culinary, historic, cultural, outdoors. So take a look at those if you want some ideas of what to do. Also, all of those itineraries are also featured on Tour Operator Land. So again, you can see them there. You can also download them on both sites. So again, great resource for you to see what we've developed maybe for your region already, or to see what can be developed. Once you've looked at all that and you know what your strengths are, you know what your market is, you know what your theme is going to be, then and only then develop your itinerary. And prepare. When you've developed the itinerary, you go out marketing it, that's great. But do prepare with your region, with your partners. If you're including hotels, attractions, sightseeing, ensure that those people know that they're included and ensure they understand the international market. Because you can create all the interest in the world for an itinerary, but when one of the international tour operators goes to contract it or market it, and these people go, I have no idea what you're talking about, what do you mean? you've just hit a solid brick wall. It needs to be easy. People need to understand what they're doing to make this successful. And this is just an example of the Brand USA branding. We branded our itineraries as insider guides. And as you can see, cover states, just because you're looking at regions, they don't have to be, and I showed this one because they don't have to be neighboring regions. People will fly to different destinations. You can still partner with regions that may be on a different coast to you or a different area totally. And then in-depth details on the itinerary. Again, you should be doing the work. You're promoting your region. You do it better than anyone else. So don't leave it to others to write for you. And then this is the most crucial, ensure bookability. You can create the best itineraries in the world. If it can't be booked, how do you prove a return on investment? How do you justify the budget? Where do you get stats and figures? So, and I say this every time I do a presentation, partner with a receptive or an international tour operator. And once again, I'm going to explain what those are because, again, I get this question over and over. What's the difference? What do they do? Why should I work with them? Working with receptive and international tour operators create worldwide awareness of your brand through consumer known and trusted channels. They work with the tour operators in those international markets that the public knows and trusts. They're not only doing marketing and brand awareness of your product, but they also educate. They run familiarization tours. They make people aware and they ensure that people are selling your product properly through training and awareness. Return on investment. They ensure a conversion to book passengers. And they provide statistics and tracking when you need to justify what you did to your boards, to your owners. So a receptive tour operator is the international wholesaler, retail distribution. They're your marketing arm overseas. They branch out into secondary and tertiary US destinations. So they're not only focused on the known key gateways, they promote the entire US. That's the benefit to smaller destinations or if you're doing partnerships. They have the ability to penetrate in not only existing markets, but also emerging markets with very little risk to you. The international tour operator, they're located overseas. They're your sales team. They're predominantly leisure-based. They're market-specific. They're based in the UK, Germany, Brazil, Australia. They are the experts in their market. They have market-specific knowledge and experience. And together, these two entities will give you a streamlined approach to reaching international audiences through one contact. Again, if you go to the Brand USA website and to the Travel Trade website, you'll see on the itineraries, there's a drop down below each itinerary, and it lists the receptive operators that are partnering with us to feature those itineraries. So again, even as Brand USA, we wanted to ensure that these itineraries were not only promoting the US, but were bookable so that we could track the success of them. And that's it. As I said, we'll open for questions. I wanted to make it as short as possible with the top line, but if you want to go with in-depth questions, reach out to me and I can certainly help you. Thank you. So now, Karin, I'm going to unshare and I'm going to pass the screen over to you.
As Karen's getting her screen set up, I should thank Scene for mentioning Tour Operator Land because I completely forgot to thank Betsy Cooper in the opening when we were talking. And she has shared all of her information in the chat box. So reach out to her if you want more information on Tour Operator Land, the itineraries that you can post there, or to see some of the itineraries as Scene mentioned that he's put together and lists.
And just one thing, the nice thing with Tour Operator Land is the itineraries are downloadable, and each time someone downloads an itinerary, you get an email with the contact of who downloaded that itinerary. So it gives you the ability to follow up with them and find out what they're doing with your itinerary and to get you to partner with them, which is incredible.
Thank you. That seems very nice way of saying, oh my gosh, I've gotten a ton of emails lately.
Yeah, I get emails every day of all the Brand USA itineraries that are being downloaded. But it's great because we pass it to our international offices or any relevant entities within Brand USA so they can follow up. So again, I love it. I mean, I'm getting emails daily of downloads. It's great.
You're welcome. All right, so Karin, tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about not only ATI, but I know you're going to go into the Drive program on the domestic side, which I love. So take it away.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks, Dean. It was really informative. I appreciate that. So the road trips will be really the biggest trend for the domestic leisure travelers from now till summer of next year. 65% of U.S. travelers are right now planning to take a road trip within the next 6 months, and there'll be a huge focus on outdoor activities. So consumer confidence went from 35% in May to 49% in August, and it's obviously been continuously going up, which is great news. Road trips have been really popular with the international market, even before COVID, and they'll be even more popular when international returns. When it comes to the domestic markets, they're really now showing a great interest for road trips. I'm calling it road tripping, as they can travel with family and friends and then, create their own travel bubble. Sorry. ATI's Drive America program actually empowers you to take advantage of this travel trend. Our newly enhanced Drive America road trip building platform was actually developed as a result of our longtime partnership with AAA and CAA, and it's right now being featured by Travel Mall, and we are actually targeting the domestic traveler. We just launched a Drive America campaign on Travel Mall where we partnered with Zion National Park and Bryce Canyon, and we were promoting an exciting road trip itinerary from, it started in Las Vegas, it went to Zion, to Bryce, Escalante, and we'll come back. And there's another great campaign that we are right now doing with Travel South. And that's, we created like unique itineraries for 3 states along the coast. We did that with North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, and that's all coming up. And there's actually some other exciting campaigns coming up very soon, so please stay tuned. We are proud to announce here at ATI that we have also launched the concierge service that actually complements our Drive America bookings that are made on our platform. And it really allows the agents to add specialized services like private guides, like really unique experiences, deluxe transportation, etc. Now that you're aware of our enhanced Drive America platform, I just want to take a brief moment to explain the capabilities of our system. I mean, it's truly a state-of-the-art, and we are the only ones who have this real flexible Drive America program. So agents can log on, they can create new itineraries from scratch, or they can take action in existing Drive itinerary and then amend it. So they can start a new itinerary really from any city. You can change the number of days you want to stay in any city. You can change, the hotels. You can change it, from a 5-star to a 3-star rating. You can add as many attractions actually into the package as you would like. And then if you're done with the itinerary, then let's say before this was always a big pain. Let's say you're done with the itinerary and you realize, oh my God, I should have probably reversed it or have done it in reverse. It was a big pain before, but now it's literally one click and it's being reversed. All this comes with e-documentation, and the end consumer will actually have an app on the phone where every detail that's actually relating to his or her Drive itinerary is on that app. So here, I just wanted to give a very brief overview on, we are featuring the 31 brand USA tours that Sean was speaking about that he created. We also have 120 tariff tours and 400 plus client custom tours. And so what we do is, again, road trips are a travel trend this fall and beyond 2021. And so this product line is a long stay product line, right? We have the entire product bookable. They have got the phone app, the end client will have the phone app on their phone. And we do have the capabilities of pulling attractions in. We have hotels, we have vacation home rentals, RV rentals, car rentals, we've got it all. And now on top of that, we have the concierge service that actually complements every road trip. This is a little example on how the app actually looks. And it comes in several different languages: English, German, Dutch, Swedish, Danish, French, Italian, and Spanish. These are the, I just wanted to make sure that everybody is aware that we are actually, that the 31 Brand USA Insider Tours are all bookable via ATI. And so this is actually a snapshot of our magazine that goes actually to every customer. So why partner with ATI, right? I mean, we are your travel service provider. We are, like Sina already said, we are your marketing arm. We can promote first-tier destinations, second and third-tier destinations. It makes no difference. We are market experts. We are out there. We are in different countries. We are your marketing arm. And we do specialize in domestic and international travel. So when we collaborate here at ATI, obviously we have close relationships with your states, right, with the CVBs. We have close relationships with the neighboring states, and that's really important when you consider multi-state drive itineraries. Hotels, vacation homes, of course, attractions, and we also work closely with local businesses and offerings. So when we look at post-COVID focus, we definitely should look at many outdoor activities. National parks are huge. I'm sure everybody is aware that national park properties are swamped right now. We actually have a very, very close relationship with Xanterra, DNC, Aramark, with all the big national park providers, and that's actually a big focus for ATI. Also very important are, I think now, post-COVID, are beach locations. People want to be outside, right? They want to be outdoors. And really any of the off-the-beaten path and unique attractions. The international average stay, Sina already mentioned, is about 10 to 14 nights, sometimes a little bit more. Domestic usually stays about 5 to 7 nights. And then I wanted to mention the city stays. Sina already mentioned it as well. You know, when we're offering day trips, that works quite well. They can stay in a city, and then, like he mentioned, in Las Vegas, and then you can take day trips to Zion or Antelope Canyon, etc. And then just forthcoming are some new and exciting developments here at ATI, like I said, including our concierge service for the high-value Drive America bookings, as well as we're working on an accommodation collection that really reflects the customer demands now after COVID in the end. So I have my contact information right there. If you want to contact me, you can send me an email, of course. We would love to hear from you. And all of our social media information is actually on this slide as well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time.
So what I love is that they didn't compare presentations. Like when we did the run through yesterday, it's the first time that everybody saw each other's, and they said the same thing, and that doesn't happen that often. So that was good.
That's scary.
It is
really
a scary,
scary.
but you know what?
I'm thinking like Karin.
Data was the same.
Or the other way
Stats
around.
were the same. It was good. So as Sean mentioned, the Q&A box is down at the bottom. Please, put any questions that you have there. That's where they'll all be in one place and we can see them. But also we'll go through the chat and we'll look on the chat and see if you have anything there. If that's easier for you, we'll find the question. I have a question that just comes to mind that, we talked about unique, we talked about off the beaten path. I'm really curious, as two people who've put together a ton of itineraries that are sold all over the world, what does unique mean to you? Like, how unique? Can you get too unique? What does unique mean, Sean?
I think unique is what is special, is what is unique to you. So as your destination, as your region, don't try and promote something you don't have. Promote what you do have that others don't, because that's what makes it unique. It's something that is specific to your region. Be it, wineries, be it culture, Native American experiences, anything that's unique to your region, because what unique does, it gives people the reason to visit your region. If what you promote you can do anywhere, then they can get to do it. If what you promote you can only do with you or very few other destinations, there's justification to visit you to do it. So that's unique. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It's something that's specific to your region.
And I think unique can be really attached to anything. It can be the destination. It can be the accommodation type, right? Is it a boutique hotel? Is it glamping? Is it a vacation home? It could be the activities, that you're experiencing while on that trip. So it could be, ATV tours, foodie tours, helicopter flights, whatever. And then it could also be the way you travel. So meaning by car, are you going by rail? Are you going by motorhome? It could be something like, what you eat on the trip. It's a culinary tour. Or it can be focused on sustainability, on supporting the local communities, right? Focused on outdoor activities. I mean, there's so many ways of just, making a unique product.
So we, in addition to our webinar that we do every Thursday, eTourism Summit is social digital marketing. We've been doing the 21 days of eTourism Summit because it turned 21 this year. So every day in October, we're doing a 1-hour eTourism session on digital marketing and best practices. And today, right before this webinar, they were talking about social media, obviously, and TikTok and LinkedIn and, all of how we market and do everything on social media. And one of the items was hands-on, and that it's not just good enough anymore to have a cool, unique experience or an attraction that, yeah, I want to visit there, but I also want to do it and I want to be hands-on. So how important is hands-on in the itineraries that you guys are doing?
I think it depends on what the attraction is and what the demographic of the passenger. If the hands-on is visiting a ranch. If you're outdoor and you're pretty outgoing, you may want to be part of a cattle roundup or be part of feeding the animals at night. If you're someone who's not so adventurous, you may be happy just to watch it. So I think when you're doing hands-on, I think you have to be very careful of offering the way you describe it. You have the opportunity to do this, but you're not forcing people to do it, because then the more specialized you get, the more your market that you're appealing to closes. So I think when you're putting itineraries together, mention opportunities to raft down a river white water or to do a float trip on a raft. Experience and stay on a ranch, but you can do low-key things as well as doing more adventurous. Otherwise, you're really closing down the market that you're linking to.
And I agree with Dean actually on that. Yeah.
Perfect. And
Kim,
Kim,
just
point.
very, very briefly, Shari, just want to jump in on that one real quick, because at ATI, that's exactly what Dean said. That's exactly what we do here as well. There's many itineraries that we actually offer with and without attractions, right? So because there are some people, they don't want to, do a helicopter tour, or they can just pick and choose. Yes, I really like this itinerary, but maybe I'm afraid of flying. I don't want the helicopter, right? But I'd rather do the kayak, etc. So I just wanted to point that out real quick. Thank you.
No, I love that. And Kim in chat had a really great point. She's like, is hands-on the right wording to actually use right now with COVID and post-pandemic and everything that we're going to? And you're right, Kim, hands-on may not be the right word. Maybe it should be experiences or interactive. I think there's probably a ton of different words we can use.
Yeah, I mean, I think, one way to, when you do things is say, and there's full interaction for all levels or for varying levels. When you explain to if you experience rafting on the Colorado River and there's varying experiences for whatever level of adventure you're looking for. So you're promoting the rafting, you're promoting the activities, you're promoting it hands-on, but you're also saying you have something for everyone. And you can't always do that, but the majority of the time you can.
Perfect. And Karin, what do you think about that? I mean, it's one of those things that it's always been that hands-on experience. You know, do we change our terminology completely, or do we explain a little bit more that everybody has their safe and clean initiatives that they're working through?
Yeah, it is definitely calling it hands-on is definitely a little bit difficult right now, I think. But I think as long as it's clear that that people have the option, to either be very hands-on or not hands-on, and just maybe more watching, or if they want to see a rodeo or something, you don't have to be sitting, on the horse, but you could be watching it. And no, I have to say, as long as you have those options for each of the different customer base, you're safe. Yeah.
And Sherry, while we're talking COVID, and policies being put in place now I think, everyone accepts that there's a risk of catching COVID, be it going to the grocery store, being it visiting a family member, there is a risk. And I think most people are continuing life, understanding that risk, and are willing to accept that risk to a certain level. So I think, the golden rule is when you're, reopening, or when you're looking to market now post-COVID, is just to ensure people that you're doing everything possible. It's just to list the additional steps that you've taken, so people feel comfortable that you are being responsible and you're not just ignoring it.
Agreed. Love that. So we have a couple of questions that have come in. And one of them really, and I should say, Karin, even though we're talking about itineraries, I know she and I talked earlier, we're going to get some questions just generally on the company and on the tour operator side of what you're doing. And one of the questions from Jordy that has come in is, what regions or areas are you seeing that are having the most potential right now? So what, and maybe from an international and a domestic side, what are the regions that are most popular right now?
Do we go first, Karin?
We're having a hard time hearing you, Karin.
Yeah, Karin, did you mute yourself?
Okay, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I think it's not so much what areas are popular. I think it's the ones that people are avoiding because the whole world is watching the way the US is dealing with COVID. And I think some regions are seen as being more responsive and more responsible than others. So I don't think it's a case of people looking to travel based upon what they want to see. I think at the moment, it's based upon where they feel more comfortable. And I think those regions that have maintained and are maintaining a responsible attitude to COVID and to movement and to, certain things being open, certain things being closed, and limitations on restaurant dining and social distancing, I think those will be the areas people will come back to first. And I think that will be the responsibility towards the handling of COVID will be a bigger decision factor than the destination based upon what it has.
Karin, are you seeing, or can you share maybe some of the most popular destinations that are being booked right now?
I mean, at the moment, for us, it's the national parks are just going gangbusters, really everywhere. And like I mentioned before, like the coastal cities are very popular. Again, that's all in line with social distancing, being outdoors, right? People feel less, they might have a less likelihood to catching COVID. And even in the parks, I mean, although it's packed now, but still, you're hiking, you're walking around, you're not like, packed with thousands of people, right? Because you can kind of create your own path, maybe, when you hike. So that's very, very popular for us right now. Yes.
Perfect.
That's for 2020. Yes. Yeah.
I also think, the world is seeing what some of the, the ones you would expect people to stay away from are the largest cities, but I don't think that's the case. I think people are seeing what New York has done with the outdoor dining and closing certain streets, and people feel comfortable with that. They're still willing to walk. There's a lot of things you can see in a city like New York without having to go inside. And then you look at Southern California, how responsible they've been with COVID. People are seeing that. So it's not that obviously the open spaces beyond the gateways is popular, but people are still going to cities, but the cities where they see that there is something to do which they feel safe doing.
So that brings up a question specifically about international travelers. And are they suited for self-guided experiences, or do they require a tour guide? And I would assume that depends on the market, right?
Yeah. Totally depends on the market. I think if you're looking at countries that have some control of the English language, they're totally willing to do self-guided. But I think, also what is self-guided anymore? You look at China as a perfect example. This is everything. As long as they've got an app, so you can do self-guided, you provide an app. Even someone who doesn't speak the English language is quite happy to do an app if you've got it in Chinese, in Italian, in Portuguese. So it's not that you have to have someone with them or you have to have them in a group. Everyone has a cell phone, everyone can download an app. And, that app is going to make a huge difference on how successful you are with re-emerging out of this, because people can still do the tour on their own and self-isolate in their own group.
I think for us, it does make a big difference, especially when our customers take a road trip and they do have the app and the directions and how long it takes from point A to point B in their own language, right? So this is why we created this app. And so I think this is definitely very successful for the not so English-speaking countries.
So your app acts as the tour guide, basically.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. I knew this question was going to come up. So Karin and Sean and I already talked about it, but the question is, how do you get your itineraries linked to the Brand USA site, or how do you participate in itineraries, Karin, that you're doing and putting together for ATI? So I'm assuming that you're always looking for those unique itineraries and opportunities, like we've been talking about for months now.
All the time.
And how often do you update current itineraries? How often do you put itineraries on the site, and how would they get something linked to you? Do
you want me to answer, Sean?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. There's really two ways of doing it. So you can either have, Sean in with Brand USA really create the itinerary for you, and then we will be, we will actually build the tour on our end, we promote it, we sell it. Or you can send me an email with the product info. We'll obviously make sure that one of our excellent product managers gets in touch with you, and then we can collaborate together on how we can create actually a unique itinerary with your destination, your product, and really other partners too, right? And we at ATI, we are always looking, always. There's not a set time that we are only contracting unique attractions, hotels, itineraries. It's all the time. We're always on the lookout for it. So please contact us, yeah.
And with Brand USA, reach out to your partner services representative, and there are various marketing programs, partner programs, regional strategy programs that involve itinerary development. But then it takes it a step further with Brand USA, where you've then got multiple options of campaigns, marketing, build outs. So partner service, reach out to your contact if you know who they are. If you don't, reach out to me, and I can put you in touch with the right people at Brand USA to discuss the various partner options we have with campaigns and yeah.
And on chat, Corey, yes, we're going to provide their emails to everyone and the presentation. So when we do our follow-up takeaway email, all of that will be on there that we'll provide to everyone on the call today. So we'll make sure that you get all of the information. Before we switch over to marketing, because you talked about marketing for just a minute, Scene, we did have a really interesting question that came through, and I just closed out Q&A, so now I have to open it again. And it was, you know, I'm just working through. One of the questions is, how do you, we talked about COVID and safety perceptions and consumer sentiment. And one of the questions was, would you suggest a certain way for destinations like Minneapolis or Portland to respond to perceptions of safety? And I know you have tours that go into both of those areas.
Yeah. Look, I think the main thing is, you know, we all know that media is going to, you know, put the worst slides, the worst situations in the spotlight, because drama sells advertising. I think, you know, the best way to handle it, you know, we do have social media today. Everyone has access to a website. I think you really have to, and it's the same with COVID procedures, ensure that your website has the most accurate and up-to-date information, and that you're giving your own voice. You're not letting people just see the voice of the media. I think most people understand that media are going to sensationalize things, which is not to say that what's happening isn't bad, and you know that there isn't you know, concerns. But I think it's really important that using social media, either on your sites, through social campaigns, through any way that you can to reach the general public, is to get your own message across, which puts something into a you know, into a more realistic, and to ensure that what is being said is correct and not the sensationalized view.
And Karin, do you have anything to add to that, or agree with what
No, that was absolutely perfect. I think especially in those cities, it is important to just keep your message going, right? And not to start marketing, because, you know, yes, like I said, like Steve just said as well, the issues are there, right? We know that, but we need to make sure that the truth really is out there, and it's not just being you know, just being hyped up by the media, and so I think it's a mistake to then stop all marketing or all campaigns or all social media, and you know, just because of what's going on. I think that's exactly the time you need to be doing all this, right? To make sure that your message comes across, and that you're counteracting what you know, what the media blows up, really.
I also think people are more willing to believe people like themselves. And what I mean by that is, if you've got a website where people can post their views when they visited your city and say positive things, if you've got recent posts like that, so if someone was in Portland last week and they posted a really positive view, utilize that, utilize what other travelers are saying when they visit your destination, and use the date that they've posted it. Because when people go on and look and they see that, you know, someone visited last week and they said, felt totally comfortable here, great experience, don't avoid Portland because of what you see in the news, people tend to believe that more than a PR piece, because it's someone like them giving that opinion.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I like that.
Love that. So we're going to talk about marketing. You focused on marketing a little bit. That, you know, now's the time to do it. Keep doing marketing. Do co-op marketing. It's all your friend. Get everyone in your itinerary together. One of the questions we're going to get to first from Gray in Alabama. They're looking to have a Southern Coast USA itinerary. Alabama, historic Mobile, beachfront cities. Suggestions on how to best launch.
Well, I think at the moment, what I would do is I would launch, I mean, now on social media, but I think you do tempting video clips, you know. At the moment, it's about creating the desire for people to travel. We know they're not going to travel at the moment, or they can't travel because of closed borders. But you know something? Start to build the dream, start to build the desire. If you've got, you know, if you're putting an itinerary together and you've got great mini video shots, I mean, like we're talking 5-10 seconds, you know, coming soon, you know, South US beach itinerary, you know, and then you just put the clips out there, put images out there, show some great images of, what people can experience, because everyone, they're not traveling because they don't want to. They're traveling because they can't. So, everybody wants to plan what they can do. They want to cheer themselves up by looking at something inspirational on social media and then link that back to the full itinerary or more details on your website. So, just start it flowing. And then obviously, as you're moving forward and you've got it completed, then's the time to start working with the receptive operators and getting it into their programs, because that's an instant win. They're going to put it in their program. They automatically reach out to hundreds of operators, which means tens of thousands of travel agents, which means Lord knows how many consumers. So but you can start now with social media for very little cost. It doesn't cost to post something on social media.
So when, I love that. And I will say, seeing some of the things that Brand has done with their itineraries is taken each destination or an activity in each destination and done a short video about it. And then that links to a story. It's a full story on social media where you can go and look at each one of those small 30-second video clips that they can combine together, which I think has been really great. And I keep going back. I'm an ex-DMO. Everybody who calls in here knows that, and in that DMO space, right, we created itineraries. That's what we did for the destination. But what if, a hotel wants to create itinerary themselves, right? I don't want to just say that DMOs are the only ones that create itineraries. In essence, several attractions or hotels, they could come together on their own. Or maybe one of those more rural destinations that doesn't have a DMO that really oversees them. Maybe they're part of the Chamber of Commerce, something like that. We could, in essence, you could get several areas together to create their own, whether it be a hotel, an attraction, whatever.
I think, and Karen's probably will have more to say on this one. I think if you're doing it as a hotel, I think the challenge is, that means you've got availability at one hotel. So asking someone to put it into a brochure, full color, thousands of copies printed, marketing on a website, building it out on ATI site, building it into the app, doing everything. Although you've done the work and put the itinerary together, they still have to build it out and market it. And if one of your, and you are restricted to the smallest hotel on your itinerary, and you're putting this out worldwide. If one of those hotels only has 150 rooms, that's 150 bookings. If that product takes over the entire hotel, which we know is not the case. They're probably working with numerous OTAs. They've got their own website. So you're really limiting the saleability and the marketing budget that someone will put behind it. I think if you're looking to do it, I think it's better as a hotel, an attraction, to work with your DMO, to be part of an itinerary which they're putting together. And you can sponsor the itinerary in some way. You can, if you've got something unique at your hotel that can be mentioned in the itinerary. So you can say, recommend staying at this hotel, really known for their great brunches or something like that, which you can put into an itinerary. You're recommending it. So when someone books, the odds are they're going to ask for that hotel first. But if it's not available, it doesn't close out the entire itinerary.
Got it.
Actually, yes, I do agree. They should definitely be working with a DMO, or they can contact us, for example. We can put this together. I mean, we work with 25,000 hotels in general, right? And if you are in a certain destination and we have the attractions already set up, we have hotels, we can add more. I mean, we can really put this together for them.
Okay.
And the one area where I say that does change is if you're putting together, if you're a single destination and you're putting together maybe, like a city stay, then I think you can do it as a hotel if you've got something unique, or if you're an iconic hotel. Also, if you're a resort, and you want to put something together like whether you're a guest ranch or you're a golf resort or you're a spa resort, because then you have something unique that can't be booked anywhere else. So it makes total sense. But if you don't have something unique to offer, trying to go it alone as a single property, I think would be a challenge.
Karin, you mentioned attractions, and we have a question from Floy, specifically on contracting with attractions. And I know Floyd's thinking right now is for her to get out all the information to her attractions to contact you.
Of course.
Are you using like a third party, like an Ingresso for some of your attractions, or do you only request direct contracts?
We do not. We actually have every attractions that we are featuring is all contracted direct. We do not go through any third parties, not from a hotel perspective and not from an attraction perspective. We do not. We actually pride ourselves to have all direct contracts. So Floyd, whatever you have, send it my way. Would love it.
She also asked for a percentage that you're looking for from the hotels, from the attractions or activities. But if you want to answer that direct with her, I totally understand.
Absolutely. That's what I'll do.
So I told both Karin and Scene that this hour would go by very quickly, and we have 4 minutes left.
It did.
I can't believe it's gone by, and we have more questions to get to. And if we didn't answer your question live, Scene and Karin both have agreed to answer those questions, and we will get them to you directly. Of the questions that you asked.
Mm-hmm.
So as we're wrapping up, I think that itineraries, fly drives, everything that we've known in the past, hub and spokes, fly drives, I don't think, for lack of a better word, and my mom's not in the room right now, so I can say this, they're not your mom's, old fly drive. They're not the old hub and spoke. Everything is unique and different, and as much as we use those words over and over again, it truly is a different ballgame post-COVID and moving into 2021. So if you haven't been a part of these programs with Brand and what Scene's put together, or with ATI, I think now's the time. Now's the time to reach out and take a review of your destinations and your offerings, and touch base with Scene and Karin and get something going for next year. Because on the domestic side with your drive program, on the international side with the itineraries coming in through Brand USA, really some great offerings out there, and something you definitely want to be a part of. So we will leave it here, and I'm going to ask Scene and Karin for some last thoughts and some words of wisdom. I was going to ask what keeps you up at night, but we all know Scene, we can't ask him that. So the question is words of wisdom. Karin, any words of wisdom that you have to share with everyone?
Yeah, I mean, travel is really important, right? It's important for boosting mental health, for personal growth. It will come back. And I really urge you to contact us as ATI. We want to partner with you. There is uniqueness in every destination, in every hotel, in every attraction. And then when we partner together, we can create really, exciting and unique itinerary. And then we can entice the domestic and international travelers to come back to the US and Canada. So I really appreciate you guys having me. It was really exciting. Thank you. Scene, over to you.
Yeah, I think, look, at the moment, everyone has limited budgets, limited resources. So work together to maximize both. I think partnerships will be one of the biggest keys to recovery. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think that's something everyone needs to take on board as they're emerging out of this.
Could not agree more. And I think that as we've gone through these webinars week after week, I think that's what we've learned, that we're going to get through this together. I mean, there's a reason there's a hashtag Tourism Strong going on socially and out there right now. We are stronger together, and partner with, dare I say, your biggest competitor, or this is the way that we're going to get things moving, that we all want so badly. So
it's better to partner with your competitor than to compete with them and drive your rates and drive up your marketing budgets at this point. There's time to compete later. Work together to bring it back at the moment.
Perfect. I love it. Maxine, thank you very much. Karin, thank you so much for taking your time
Thank you.
and sharing some
Thank
of your
you,
wisdom
Sharon.
with us. I know everybody on this call is going to be getting in touch with you later, both of you, so just be prepared. I warned you in advance.
That's okay.
And we are back next week. And next week we're going to take a turn, strictly to domestic, where someone we know and love, Stephanie Brooks from the Globus family of brands, is going to spend some time with us and talk a little bit about what they're focused on and what they're doing to prepare for post-COVID recovery. So guys, thank you so much for coming back week after week. I really appreciate you, and we will talk soon. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.